health and a little wealth and a lot of love.
So could you share with our audience why you believe real estate is such a powerful avenue for building wealth?
All right, so I will try to keep this episode to an hour. If you guys are interested in things like this, ask a question on our website, suitsandscrubspodcast.com. I can go into really details on each one of these sections in this entire episode. So the biggest one is the real estate appreciation. Since 1987, real estate has appreciated 5% every single year. Now, arguably, it's not as good as the markets. It depends who you ask. I think markets are 6 to 7%, especially this really sexy ETFs, like international ETFs, those technology ETFs, exchange traded funds. It just follows the index. Index funds is probably the best way to say that. They've probably gotten a little bit better. But one thing about real estate, people, it's real. You can feel it. You can see it, and a lot of people feel more comfortable investing in something that they see. So the appreciation alone is something to really, really look at. Second is a rental income. For me, that's not the most important because rental income, unless you're short-term rental, mid-term rental, which I'll talk about in just a moment, it is important. It is something to think about. But the way rents are and the way that the value of the homes are going up, interest rates are going up. So there's not a lot of room to make rental income right now. So if you're watching this a few years later, which hopefully you are, those are not as attractive, but they could be in the future. And so, you could refinance and really try to get a cash positive property. That was never my goal. My goal was to cover our expenses. Our goal was the third one, which is the tax benefits. Mm-hmm. So guys, pay attention. Wake up. The tax benefits of real estate are just one of the most amazing things that you can do. I think that you should talk to a tax advisor if you're a high earner. We do have some doctors listening, and that's part of our target audience. A great way to do it is get an LLC, buy a rental property in that LLC, offset your income by a cost segregation analysis, which means that you can hire someone to do the accelerated depreciation instead of doing the 27.5 years, which is the traditional depreciation. You depreciate, land doesn't appreciate, but the asset does, right? And so you can write that off on your taxes.
The land doesn't appreciate, but the home depreciates over time.
Exactly. It makes sense. So when you think about the basic accounting, when you buy something, let's say we buy a phone, it's going to depreciate over time, right? A car, a house, just because this house is brand new, but it's going to depreciate over time. And so that's one of the great tax benefits is depreciation. I said this last time in taxes, but the best way to get your taxes, most people have standard deductions unless you have insurmountable medical bills or your parents live with them, dependents if you have children. But another really big area is the mortgage interest and the property tax. So when you pay those, you do get tax credits for those. And that's one of the biggest areas next to those few things I just mentioned are really significant for the tax. Other one is the operating expenses, which I absolutely love. So check this out. Let's say that you have a home that you absolutely love and you're living in it. And right now we're living in a very well-traveled city. And you move, but then you want to create a nice space for your guests. You buy the furniture, buy everything. We've done this. And you set it up really, really nice. We have some really cool custom design. We like antiques, so we take antiques. So we have this 113-year-old mirror sitting in our property right now that's painted gold that has accents. It's really cool. Maybe we'll have some B-roll and show you guys some of those properties. Anyway, but you can write those off as expenses. But you can only write off expenses on the income that you make. And so if you look at Airbnb, the best thing I tell people is how do you differentiate yourself from other people? Go wild. Go crazy. People like to stay in wacky designs.
Yeah, eclectic.
And you should see it on our properties. Our property is very eclectic. It's successful if every other person is asked to buy your property, which has happened for us multiple times. That means you're creating a space that you should absolutely be proud of. So that's one of the big opportunities. There's something called a 1031 exchange. So what that is, it's just a fancy way. A lot of people know this already, but if you don't, this is something to really get into. If you buy a property and you sell it, you're subject to capital gains unless it's your primary residence. So if you live there for 2 of the 5 years.
And what's capital gains?
The capital gains is like if you sell anything, so the money, Uncle Sam's gonna get his cut. He's gonna get his cut, so you pay taxes on your house and then you sell your house. And if you make a profit on it, you have to pay taxes on it unless you lived in it for 2 to 5 years, and then you're free to clear up to $250,000 for single, $500,000 for married. I'm going really fast, but these are really just slow me down if you have questions, because this is like really good information. This is how you make money in real estate. It's great for taxes, but a 1031 exchange is you take the proceeds of the house. Let's say you have a house here, and you want to buy a mountain house, which is something you and I talked about, and you take the proceeds and you put it down on a mountain house. So instead of paying taxes, you just roll it over into the next investment. And you just keep doing that. But you have to have a like-for-like investment. Work with a tax advisor on this. When you start getting to this level of sexiness, you need to make sure you have a good team and a CPA. It's just being equipped to ask the right questions. I don't know about you guys, but it's always a tail wagging the dog when I talk to a tax person or a finance person. They have other clients. They're not going to sit there and develop a strategy for me unless I'm like Tyler Perry or somebody or someone really, really rich. You have to know, right? And there's no reason why you shouldn't know. So that's one of the big things.
With a little health and a little wealth and a lot of love, that's a life that we live. Suits and scrubs.